So often in the tech community, we talk about unfair advantages. And my unfair advantage was that I had Patrick Meyer here today to do an introduction for me. So he really got us started talking about drones and how drones can be used for good and used for meaningful, impactful change. And so I'm going to continue with that theme, and I'm going to talk to you about what the Syria Airlift project is doing for empowerment in a talk called Dignity Through Drones. My name's Jessie Mooberry. I'm from the Syria Airlift project, and it's a program being run by Uplift Aeronautics, our nonprofit organization. We're a couple months old right now. So this little girl's name is Adi Hudaya. She was in a refugee camp in Turkey on the Syrian border. She's 4 years old, and when a journalist came up to her and tried to take her picture, her response was this: "I surrender." Okay, that's the language that we're teaching our children right now. They're learning about violence, they're learning about sectarianism, and they're learning to surrender. They're learning to give up. We need to give hope to the Syrians. We need to empower them. We need to help them, not help them, we need them to see a way forward, a future for themselves. And instead, as 4-year-olds, they're learning to give up. So our paradigm is to build a conveyor belt of drones. They take off on the Turkish border under the cover of night. They would fly 50 kilometers, airdrop 2 kilos, and return back 50 kilometers. This would all be automated. There would not be a pilot flying any of these. No humans would be put at risk through this humanitarian aid delivery. But we would be including the Syrians in our project. Our idea is to hire Syrian engineers to help us build the planes, to work with Syrian teenagers to help us load humanitarian aid, and finally, to work with the children and have them decorate these planes for us. Because it's not about us, it's about Syrians after all. Another way that we're using this project to empower Syrians is by naming our aircraft after them. The aircraft here on the right-hand side is called the Nusha. She's a woman running a rehabilitation center for children who've gone through conflict. And she was so inspiring to us because as a Syrian, she goes back into Syria all the time and works with these children to try to break that language of war and violence and sectarianism and teach them a new language, a language forward and of building bridges and one of hope. The plane here on this guy right here, the Walid, he's named after a Syrian doctor. A lot of Walid's family had been killed, and yet he continued to return into Syria time and time again to try to help Syrian people whenever there was a chemical attack or whenever the people were at risk. And so who are we really? Syrian Airlift Project, Uplift Aeronautics. We're a new type of UAV company. We're trying to bridge the gap between... Hello? Can you hear me? No. We're trying to bridge the gap between the... Hello? Okay. We're trying to give the bridge the gap between Silicon Valley and the humanitarian world with empowerment at our touchstone. And so we're using a couple of crazy ideas. We're using crowd volunteering, which is a word I made up the other day. It's sort of a link between volunteering, crowdsourcing. Essentially, we're all volunteers at the organization. We're a new organization. We don't have the money to do what we want to do full time. So we seek out skill sets of people who can help us, who have a couple hours a week, and bring them on board. We're also starting a crowdfunding campaign on Tuesday, actually. We're very, very excited about. And finally, we're using the principles of open source, which is absolutely incredible because we're able to use the entire community to help us work on software for these planes that we ourselves wouldn't have been able to develop by ourselves. So that begs the question, why is so much money going towards drones for military application? Why aren't we putting any money towards drones for good? And so I'm gonna finish up here with a quote from our founder, Mark Jacobson. As bad as things can get in the world, there's still a place for good people to do good things that matter. Thank you.